Welcome to Have I Got News for You? My name's Jack D. In the news this week, at the Labour conference in Brighton, after a stressful few days, John Prescott and Jack Straw relaxed together in the bar. CCTV cameras capture the scene in Downing Street moments after the announcement that Tony Blair's heart problem had returned. And as Prince Harry starts taking on more official engagements, there are signs that he may not quite have mastered the royal handshake. With Ian Hislop tonight is a controversial talk show host who, in a recent interview, described women of her own age as having let themselves go. I think she's scrubbed out all right, actually. Please welcome Trisha Goddard. With Paul Merton tonight is a man who recently told The Guardian, "I don't watch much telly, but I always watch anything I'm on to make sure I haven't cocked up." Set the video, Adam. Please welcome Adam Hart Davies. And we start appropriately enough with round one. Ian and Trisha, what's this about?
That's the Iraq report, the weapons of non-existence, as they're now known. Oh, I'm not going to say sorry. Oh, she did say sorry.
Is that a wire in your pocket, or are you pleased to see?
There's something in his back.
Yes.
Probably a hunch. So this is Iraq.
Yeah.
Yes.
And who did Tony Blair wheel out to make his climb down?
Patricia Hewitt first, and then Lord Falconer, I think, and then Jack Straw. They all said we're sorry. But actually, Tony didn't say the word sorry.
Well, he said, I can apologise and I have apologised, but never actually said I apologise in those terms, did he?
No.
How would you cope with an apology like that on your show, Trisha?
I wouldn't count that as an apology.
You wouldn't actually count it as an apology?
I wouldn't. No, I'd give him a lie detector test.
Would you? Maybe we should have an apology inspector to actually go and look and see if there is a real apology. Because there has been talk of an apology, and all the ingredients are there for an apology, but they don't seem to have had an apology yet. And how has Hans Blix been in the news this week?
He saw a draft of the dodgy dossier and said he thought it was rather good. I think it was probably a draft before they'd put in 45 minutes or anything interesting like that.
I think it was before the government got hold of it.
Are you suggesting they sexed it up?
No, I'm not suggesting. I'm just saying it.
Is anyone aware, in fact, that the Hans Blix is now a film star? He's playing himself in a dramatisation. I've got a clip here of him in action in Korea.
Hans Briggs? Oh, no! Oh, hello. Great to see you again, Hans.
Mr. Inn, I was supposed to be allowed to inspect your palace today, and your guards won't let me into certain areas.
Hans, we've been through this a dozen times. I don't have any weapons of mass destruction, okay?
It's a new film by the makers of South Park. So, which other Iraqi inspectors have been expressing concern this week? Apparently it was the UN nuclear watchdog who's expressed concern about the widespread and apparently systematic dismantling of Iraqi nuclear sites. Apparently there is a lot of this stuff has gone missing. And,
Do they know where it's gone?
No, that's why it's gone missing. Adam, you're a boffin. What can you do with low-grade uranium?
You can put it in glass and dump it to the bottom of the sea.
In glass?
Glass. Glass is very good. You put it in concrete, the concrete slowly wears away, and in 1,000 years we'll all die. We may be dead anyway, but we'll die. But if you put it in glass, you can literally make glass...
And that never breaks?
No, not if it's a solid lump. Big solid lumps on the bottom of the sea, no. Safe.
Well, thank you for that. And, so what was Bush doing in that little bit of footage?
That was the debate with Kerry, and...
He was trying to smile and look as though he wasn't losing.
No, but it was meant to be a wrinkle in his suit, wasn't it? There's allegedly a wrinkle along a seam.
Yes, they thought there was obviously
they saw
a
a wire and thought he was being fed answers. But he kept saying, don't interrupt, when no one was talking.
Well, it's a very good point. He did say that, and apparently he was evidently hearing voices of some sort, whether it was... and we've got a clip of this.
As the politics change, his positions change. And that's not how a commander-in-chief acts. Let me finish. The intelligence I look at...
The paper said this was a radio transmitter. He's not transmitting. Well, I hope not. He might be receiving, but he's not
What if
transmitting.
he was a robot?
Surely robot technology's advanced a bit more than that.
No.
Some journalists have accused Bush of being linked up to a live radio feed during the debate, especially when he said the world is better off without Saddam Hussein in power, and added car 37 pickup from the Marriott Hotel. Paul and Adam, here's yours.
OK, there's a man pointing. Oh, these two are in love, they're going to get married. John Prescott and Gordon Brown are getting married. These people say, let them marry. We demand they get married. There's got the word pension written on all those things. Has that got anything to do with it?
But then there was a pensions crisis about 5-6 years ago, but it was so urgent that they had to leave it till after the election, and after the next one, and now they're going to leave it till the next one.
They're going to leave it till the Tories are in power.
Ah,
It's quite a long time.
I'm too young for this conversation.
Really?
So, how big is the pensions black hole?
40 zillion, I think it is.
No, be sensible.
Be sensible.
It's 57 billion a year.
Well done, yes.
But they have got a plan. Taxes have got to go up, or we have personal pensions, or we kill everyone over 65. No, it's a tough decision. Tony doesn't want to have to take it. And he's lost a lot of sleep, but he's going to kill all of you.
Or we all work to the age of 90. That's very simple, then we don't have to have a pension.
But what if you don't live till 90?
Well, then you're dead, and it's not a problem.
They don't expect you to turn up to work.
Do you get a sick note?
Yeah, the ultimate sick note.
One of the papers called the pensions black hole. I've been looking through the papers. According to the Independent, pensions crisis. The Mirror have called it pensions time bomb. The Daily Mail went with pensions betrayal. And the Sun, posh, I'll see that ugly lying cat.
Well, in a sense, that's the slapper's pension, isn't it?
So what are the long-term options for everyone?
Poverty?
I think you should be saving more and working longer.
But there's no point in working harder, because if you do, you get more money, and then they won't give you so much state pension, because it's all means-tested.
Adam, honestly, you should be an advocate for many of our guests on the show.
Should I?
You should tell them not to work.
Not to work?
Well, you're saying we shouldn't work.
But surely the people on your show don't work. Isn't it on in the daytime?
Have you never seen the show?
Touché.
I could say, like Tony Blair, that that's not the issue. But no, I haven't.
Yes, it's the news that the nation is facing a massive shortfall in pension provision. According to reports, 12 million people are without hope of ever having a proper income in old age. What's wrong with these people? Haven't they ever heard of scratch cards? Tony Blair said that people of his generation will just have to stay in their jobs into their 70s. The rest of his speech was drowned out by the sobbing of Gordon Brown. Economists predict there'll soon be thousands of female pensioners in financial difficulty. Bad news for the Treasury. Great news for Wayne Rooney. Ian and Trisha, a spinning headline for you is this one.
That was David Beckham saying that he was just so smart because he worked out how to sit out his injury and his yellow card time at the same time, but the next day he had to apologise for it all.
But then he spoke to a journalist, which isn't terribly brainy, is it?
No, but he also said a lot of people think that I'm dumb, but I'm not.
Yeah, thus proving that he is.
Specifically, in fact, what he said, people think I haven't got the brains to be that clever, but I have got brains. Bless. How did he get injured?
Was it the all-over wax?
Nearly. He had
I read that football story, that was good.
You're grubby.
He had a long-running battle with...
I'm taking an interest in current affairs. And I've just been called grubby by Trisha. My aunt's a lesbian. Back after the break.
I thought you said you didn't watch my show.
I was lying.
Have you had sex with a tortoise? Ring this number.
Slowly.
Yeah.
Which other former England star's been in the news this week?
Oh, Gaza.
Gaza, well done.
Because he wants to change his name.
He does.
So he can leave his murky past behind him.
He feels that Paul is... Paul, have you found the name being called Paul? Has that been a problem?
It's been a total burden.
Yeah.
What have you changed it from?
Randy Staff.
It would take an awful long... It would take an awful long time to sign autographs, wouldn't it?
That's the main reason why I changed it.
Yes. Yeah. And what about the Merton bit?
That was where I happened to be living at the time.
Oh, it was? You could call yourself E11 or something, you know, it might be easier.
I could call myself A to Z.
Atos. Yeah, it'd be quite good. You'd be behind then.
Did you say Atos?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Atos. I'll write it down for you.
Oh, I see. A2... Oh, I see. Yeah, Atos. Yes, I see, yes.
Or A2Z.
Are you one of these people who ask for the me and you in a restaurant?
No, but I did have a wonderful meal in Belfast.
Oh, good, I'm pleased. Gazza, of course, is not the first Geordie to change his name, but he is the first to do it without going through the witness protection programme. Paul and Adam, your spinning headline?
Crocodile Mum-D, OK. This was the story this week. Was it Western Australia, I think it was? A man was sleeping, was he? And a crocodile came out of the river and grabbed him, and then...
He was in his tent, and it came into the tent.
Crocodiles live in tents?
No, 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 it's people who loiter within tent. No, the bloke was in a tent.
Can I just point out that groan was for you, Adam?
Yeah, that was my job.
That was your groan, nothing to do with me.
Yeah. Right, so he was loitering within the tent, and the crocodile came out and grabbed him and was taking him off to the lake. And then there was this woman. She went and jumped on the croc's back.
Right.
And wrestled it to the ground. Well, I suppose it was probably already on the ground, wasn't it?
She stabbed it in the eyes.
And the ultimate irony is that she hit it with her handbag. Yes, this is 60-year-old Alicia Sorahan, who wrestled with a 14-foot-long crocodile to stop her son-in-law being dragged into the sea. According to The Independent, the camping party was eventually rescued by wildlife rangers who happened to be in the area shooting at wild pigs from a helicopter. That's what I call a stag night. So, at the end of that round, both sides have 4 points each.
Ooh,
Well, what a great summer it was for news. So, in an effort to try and recapture some of that excitement, I've come up with something. I made it myself. It's, this is literally a news round. These are all people who featured in major news stories over the summer. I spin the wheel, and when it stops, you tell me who they are and what the story was. Ian and Trisha, you get the first spin, so here I go.
Yeah.
So...
Mark Thatcher.
Mark Thatcher being arrested, that's a bit of a laugh, isn't it? Certainly cheered me up.
How did you feel seeing that picture of him being led away? Weren't you upset?
No, I thought it was really funny. No, it was a coup, and various rather dim public school boys appear to have put up a lot of money. There was a letter from Simon Mann, the guy who was leading the coup, and it said, "Get Scratcher and Smelly to get us out of here." And Scratcher is Mark Thatcher, it rhymes. And Smelly is a businessman called Eli Khalil, I think his name is. And various of these people have put up money, and perhaps they thought it was for a charity raffle. Perhaps they've been told it was for a coup in Equatorial Guinea. I don't know. I'm leaving the audience to choose.
And wasn't there some suggestion that perhaps Jeffrey Archer was implicated?
Yeah, he put some money up.
That's very good, yes, well done. Yes.
Which made the story twice as amusing.
According to The Sun, Mark Thatcher may be handed over to a cannibal dictator said to eat his opponent's testicles.
It has to be said, he is a particularly unpleasant man, the one they wanted to coup. Yes. The dictator, he is probably a cannibal, and he is fantastically... But, you know, you can't just go into other people's countries and remove the... Oh, yes, you can.
Yes. Jeffrey Archer's name has been dragged into the coup allegations. A cheque reportedly sent by him to coup leader Simon Mann is being analysed by police, and if it's really badly written, they'll arrest him. We've been asked to point out that the novelist and convicted perjurer Jeffrey Archer denies any involvement in the coup plot. Shall I spin the wheel again?
Right, that's David Blunkett. Was it some spectator party, and he's... I didn't really follow the story, but he's having some affair with some woman.
Who did you have the affair with, do you know?
What does he know?
Yeah, it was his girlfriend.
Well, I don't know what the fuss was about, really, because I didn't really follow the story.
Why don't you know what the fuss was about? She was married, there was a pregnancy...
Did anyone in particular get pregnant?
Yes, she did.
Ah, no,
and then there was all
It would have
this
been quite big
speculation
news if he had.
Well, exactly.
Well, he doesn't know. Shove a jumper up, he's having a pillow up his jumper, he wouldn't know any difference, would he? You're pregnant, am I? Oh, God, I am and all.
How did we all help David Blunkett out in his time of need?
We paid for a detective to go on holiday with the two of them down to Cornwall to look after them. Because obviously the taxpayer should fund extramarital leg over in Cornwall. And then there was a civil servant who, when she dumped him at the end of the affair, was at the meeting. So she dumped him and, I don't know, Mr. Ponsonby sat there saying, "You must never call me again." Is that agreed with both of them? Yes, absolutely.
But was he actually in Cornwall? I mean, he could have just been in a room where they were playing tape recordings of the scene. Throwing buckets of water over him every half hour.
On the night they first met, Spectator publisher Kimberly joked, "I tried to convince him I was tall and blonde." Although when he phoned the Spectator and asked for someone of that description, he ended up having phone sex with Boris Johnson.
I can believe that.
Terrible thing.
Once again, so I'm spinning the wheel, and this time it's...
Mark Thatcher.
Ian and Trisha, who's this?
It was Fatty Soames, wasn't it?
Yes. Was this the Tory party conference?
It was. Mm-hmm.
And all the Tories had to prove how... with it, they are.
They were asked, what was the last CD you bought? We got a VT, we can see some of it.
It's a CD of Dido, who I admire greatly.
They're just so achingly hip.
They are.
They're like
cool.
the dads that dance at the school disco. You were doing the dance to the theme music before. show us that dance.
Give it a rest, love.
The other question they were asked was, do you remember your first kiss? Here's what Nicholas Soames said. "I made the most frightful hash of it. It may have scarred me for life." And does anyone remember how one of his former girlfriends famously described a romantic encounter with Soames?
Oh.
She said it was like being toppled on by a wardrobe with the keys still in the lock. Oh, it's horrible. Horrible, horrible, horrible. OK, one more time with the wheel.
Mark Thatcher.
Mark Thatcher!
This machine is useless.
I've no idea who that is.
It's Otis Ferry.
Oh, right,
hunting.
Brian Ferry's son.
Yeah.
He invaded, along him and some mates invaded the House of Commons.
Did as well, yes,
Yes.
that's right. He's actually a friend of Prince Harry. Does anyone know what his job is with the Shropshire Hunt?
Keeper of the Hounds, or...
He's whipper-in or something,
Whipper-in,
isn't
or...
He's, technically, he's actually joint master. Which explains the friendship with Prince Harry, obviously.
Yes.
Prince Harry has been in the news only today. Does anyone know what for?
Yeah, well, allegedly, he cheated at his art exam. Allegedly, he took some wonderful digital photographs and his teacher wrote in the words.
If your teacher wrote the entire thing and you still got a B...
But the idea that a member of the royal family should have special privileges is an absurd suggestion.
This is the invasion of the House of Commons by pro-Hunt protesters, led by Otis Ferry. As Commons security wrestled protesters to the ground, the struggle was so vicious that the Sergeant-at-Arms ladded his tights. After hearing of the security breach, an absent John Prescott was said to be furious, having missed an ideal chance to punch a student in the face. The odd one out round is next. Ian and Trisha, your four are Jack Straw, Roy Castle, Mark Thatcher and Prince Charles.
Jack Straw was in Africa shaking hands with a naughty man.
Mugabe? A naughty man? It's not Graham Norton, you know. Dictator and mass murderer.
I think the two should swap. Swap jobs for a week.
Trisha, you were quite close when you said about shaking hands with the naughty men.
They'd both shaken hands with someone and not known who they were. Prince Charles shook hands with his mother and said, "And what do you do?" Roy Castle refused to shake hands with Mrs Thatcher.
Very good. For what reason?
It was about smoking, I think.
Tobacco, Helen.
Tobacco.
Yeah.
Morris.
Yeah.
Prince Charles, who did he refuse to shake hands with?
Idi Amin.
Oh, Idi Amin.
And Mark Thatcher refused to shake hands with...
It was his father, Dennis, when he was rescued in the desert.
And Straw did shake Mugabe's hand, but said it's because it was dark.
Straw said it was really dark. Let's have a look.
Fantastic. It must have been an eclipse.
How did Idi Amin once propose Anglo-Ugandan relations could be patched up?
Making him King of Scotland.
That was one thing. That's a splendid and not unreasonable idea.
Wasn't it marrying one of the royal family?
He suggested marrying Princess Anne.
That's
yeah,
right.
why not?
But she apparently wasn't up for it.
Miserable old cow.
Yeah, frigid. They have all refused to shake hands with someone. As a young man, Mark Thatcher failed his accountancy exams 3 times, or, as he thought, 4. In 1985, Roy Castle tap danced for 23 hours non-stop before finally achieving his aim, getting the bloke downstairs to move out. Paul and Adam, these are your 4. They are Walt Disney, Elizabeth I, Pinocchio, and the President of Turkmenistan.
Right. Pinocchio's head is made of wood. He's the odd one out, because everybody else's head's made of plastic.
Queen Elizabeth had white lead all over her face to make her look pale
yes.
and
And she
interesting.
dyed her hair. That's the guy in the third bottom right, he's obviously dyed his hair. Maybe he's got a mole sitting on his head. It could be a mole, couldn't it?
Here's a clue. It's an incisive question.
Ah, it's about teeth.
Queen Elizabeth had wooden teeth. Pinocchio's got
right.
wooden teeth.
Yeah.
You never...
Walt Disney couldn't have had wooden teeth, so that with mole head must have wooden teeth.
You're very nearly right. If you
Or
said
just
Walt
false
Disney...
Walt Disney has got wooden teeth. Molehead hasn't got wooden teeth. He's the odd one out.
You got it, Paul.
Yeah, well done.
Walt Disney had wooden teeth.
Washington had wooden teeth.
Queen Elizabeth I was accredited for introducing lots of different things to this country, but she didn't actually introduce them. Do you know any of those, what they would be?
Potato.
Pelican crossings.
That's one.
That's one she didn't have anything to do with.
Nothing
Anything
to
else
do
she
with
didn't
it
have to
The
do with.
hovercraft.
Hovercraft. This could go on an awful long time, couldn't it? President Niyazov of Turkmenistan, he's banned gold teeth in his country,
Right,
and alongside other things. Do you know what else he's banned?
No, don't know.
He's banned beards, long hair for men, opera, ballet, listening to car radios.
Jack, are you feeling uncomfortable?
I'm feeling persecuted, frankly.
Why have you got a beard?
Because I'm working on something else at the moment.
But don't you want people to know it's you? Is it not very good?
I'm beginning to think that would be an advantage, yeah.
I think it's quite rakish.
To you. Thank you very much.
Men who look rakish.
Oh, are you jealous? What is your problem? Are you jealous?
I'm jealous of your show.
Are you?
Yeah, I'd love to do it.
You can come on
Good
it.
morning. On my right, people who've been beaten up in a pub. On my left, people who beat them up. Let's have a debate.
Help yourselves to alcohol, gentlemen.
It's a great show, it really is.
Thank you.
And if I can't see your show, I just go and hang around in a pub car park. The answer was they all had teeth made from wood, apart from President Niyazov of Turkmenistan. Walt Disney died in 1966 of a smoking-related disease. His teeth caught fire. Queen Elizabeth I had wooden teeth, was completely bald, and yet somehow managed to remain a virgin. We finish, as always, with the Missing Words round, featuring this week's guest publication, Recumbent Cyclist News. So here you go. Britain 4 meals away from what?
Breakfast the day after tomorrow. This is anarchy.
It is anarchy. MI5 claim people in the UK would turn to violence if they went 48 hours without food, or an hour and a half without a drink if you live in Scotland. Next, can't afford to send your little darlings to Eton, then what?
Don't.
Shoot yourself. Life's not worth living.
Buy them the board game instead.
Oh, yes.
I think you're absolutely right there.
Oh,
yes.
what's that?
Buy them the board game instead, word for word. It's the Eton housemaster who's invented a board game based on life at the famous public school. He says if it's a success, he'll bring out a state school version in which if you throw 3 double sixes in a row, you still don't get anywhere. Next, never underestimate the difficulty of what?
Art A-level.
Riding a recumbent bicycle in up a steep hill in very poor weather.
Actually, you get a point for that, I think. The answer is lifting a heavy recumbent onto a roof rack. According to Recumbent Cyclist News, it's quite difficult to get a recumbent bike onto the roof of your car, which is certainly true in my case. So far, I've only ever got them to roll over the bonnet. And finally, Cromwell's brother-in-law, what?
Runs a pub called the King's Head.
Cromwell's brother-in-law designed spaceship. This is an artist's impression. So the final scores, Ian and Trisha have 13. Ooh. Paul and Adam have 13.
Hey.
On which note we say thank you to our panellists, Ian Hislop and Trisha Goddard, Paul Merton and Adam Hart Davies.
Do we have to leave it as a tie?
No, we have to win.
No, I'm giving Paul and Adam one more point.
Why?
Done it. So, on that note, Ian and Trisha have 13 and Paul and Adam have 14. And I leave you with the news that in London, following Tony Blair's electrocardiac treatment, doctors accept they may have overdone it a bit. In a Westminster supermarket, Charles Kennedy's wife prepares to break the news to her husband that she's pregnant. And there's drama at the Paralympics when cheating is suspected in the 100 metres. Good night.